Now, the idea here today is that we're gonna go through a journey for you to level up. I'm gonna be sharing some of the things that I've experienced through all these years, but something that I want you also to start clicking in your mind. So the question that I get asked all the time, what can I do to level up in life? Who wants to level up? Got you. Okay, I see people waking up. There you go. Siesta time is over. Now, this is the question that I want you to start asking yourself throughout the next 30 to 45 minutes. Okay, this is not something that you ask one time and that's it. And the miracle answer shows up. No, you gotta be asking that consistently. I'm bringing the passion here today because I do believe that by asking the question constantly, we're gonna start having those answers. Let me start with this. The distance between your dreams and reality is between your ears. And what's that? Your mind. Your mind. Everything happens twice. First in your mind and then in reality. A lot of people call it the law of attraction, manifestation, whatever you want to call it. But let me tell you, we got to start dreaming bigger. And it all starts here. For those that don't know much about me, you saw a little intro clip, but I would love to connect with all of you. As Augusto said earlier on, this is a community. We're here to grow together. We're here to help each other to reach that next level. So if you want to connect with me, just check on Instagram, Álvaro Núñez. I'll be happy to see how we can do things together, or at least here today to add some value. I'll be having some of the books out there called Level Up. I don't know, there is one here. Oh, there you go. Now, who wants this book? Nobody wants it. You're just going to raise your hand. Nobody wants it, huh? Augusto, I didn't know these people were asleep here today. Hey, somebody might be faster than her. I'm not going to hand it to you. So, what's your name? Alejandra. I call this consistent process to achieve something. Un beso? Búscame luego y te lo firmo, okay? Now, she was not sprinting. She was walking, but she was consistent at where she wanted to go, which was to get the book. A lot of you, yeah, I want it. Oh, I want it. You reach your hands very far, but not enough. Again, this is not a race about who's faster, but it's who slows the least. As an ultra-endurance athlete, I've always been told that the prize doesn't go to the fastest. It goes to the one that slows the least. Alejandra was just walking. She didn't care because she was not looking around. She was just going to her destination. And she got the book because she didn't stop. It's a little example of how a lot of things in life represent what we just did here. But no worries. You might have a second chance, and that's life, and that's the books over there. How many of you have shared on social media that you're here today? All hands should be up. Like, we live in an era where it's so easy to share what you're doing. It's called breadcrumbing, showing little pieces of what you're doing throughout the day. Attention is the strongest currency. A lot of people might think, crypto, this is attention. Attention is the strongest currency. And if people don't know about you, how are they going to work with you? You have an amazing opportunity today to learn from some of the most incredible individuals, to connect with a lot of like-minded people, to showcase what you're doing, and to also share some of the highlights of what you're learning. Did you guys learn something valuable today? Share it on social media. Record yourself. I know it's uncomfortable, but there might be somebody out there that follows you that might find that valuable. And the key here is, how can I add value? How can I add value? Look, it's as simple as this, right? Like, I just get my phone and I go here, whatever, social media, Instagram. You might use something else, but Instagram is the one that is the common one. And I'm here. All right, this is Álvaro Núñez. We are at SIM Industry Connect at the Frost Science Museum. And let me tell you, we're gonna melt the shit down because we are leveling up, right? Let's go. And that's it. And you just post it. People know what you're doing. Again, you don't need to come up with this crazy energy. Because the key here, this is one of the things that I want everybody to drill in your head. It's about being authentic. Not to pretend that you are this person. No, be authentic. Who are you? And whoever that person is, showcase it to the world. But let me tell you, it's not just about being authentic. It's about being memorable. How important it is to have a strong first impression. Be memorable. How can people remember you? Do something that is going to click with people. And the most important one, be epic. Don't just stop at being memorable. How can you level up? How can you do something that is going to get people out of their seat and be like, holy shit. And again, I've heard some incredible stories. Laura was talking about how all these records she's accomplished over the years. And for what? To inspire other people. It was not so much about the ego on, oh, I got another title. It's about being epic so that you can inspire others. You can have that strong impact in other people's lives. Who are these people? Who are you trying to reach? So again, be authentic, be memorable, and be epic. There's a quote by Oprah Winfrey that I love, and it says, the biggest adventure you can ever take is to live the life of your dreams. Let me say it again. This is really good. The biggest adventure you can ever take is to live the life of your dreams. But this all happens on the other side of fear. Now, does it mean you gotta skydive with a suit out of a plane or fly helicopters? No, you don't. Because again, going back to the first step, be authentic. I love skydiving. I love flying helicopters. So why don't you show that to the world in a way that is only authentic? That's the first step. But it's memorable because people will be remembering it. And then it's epic. It's like, holy shit, what is this guy doing, right? It's inspiring others. You're setting up the tone of what you do. And let me tell you this, because a lot of people always think, and they come to me, it's like, oh yeah, you have 1 million followers on social media. It's very easy for you. You got these viral videos. I just have like a couple hundred followers and it's so hard for me. Well, guess what? I also started like that. And there is a lot of people out there that are making a huge impact and they don't have all these millions of followers. So again, you don't need to have a large audience to grow your business. The key here is to become an expert and tap into OPS. Who knows what OPS stands for? Nobody. Ooh, I like this. See, you're learning something new today. OPS stands for other people's stages. When I was starting, it was not about, oh, how can I go viral on social media so I can gain followers and build that attention that we talked about at the beginning. No. Let's go back to the first principle. How can I add value? Well, I can add value by becoming an expert at something. How do you become an expert? By acquiring knowledge, by doing things, by failing, by continuing doing something. So when I got into the business that I am today, which is real estate, I was one of the pioneers on working with influencers. There was no such thing as an influencer. That word didn't exist. But the key here was, how can I tap into different stages, into different audiences, OPA, other people audiences. That's how you build your brand. Now, if I'm an expert in marketing or in something else, and I can come in here today and talk about it because it's valuable, it's something that is important for you guys to learn, I'm tapping into a new community. Same thing goes with press, podcasts, with radio, whatever it is that you have access to, become a local expert. So whatever it is that you're doing, find out what are the stages that you would like to be on. Is it a conference? Is it a podcast? Is it a magazine? Is it a TV show? Is it a live TV interview? Whatever it is that you can bring value on, go out there and say, hey, I think this is interesting for your audience. And this is going to help you to then tap into all these people. Now, you can have access to all of this, but if your energy is shit, you're not going to go far. The first thing that I did once I started to build myself was to take that energy. there is a difference, and a huge difference, of me going here and be like, hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Bien, gracias. O sea, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Todo bien? Álvaro, encantado. ¿Tu nombre? ¿Te lo estás pasando bien? Buenísimo. Nada. Dos personas diferentes. Uno va así, pasa desapercibido, doesn't become memorable. The other person brings the energy up, connects at a different frequency. And that's the key here. Energy is the current currency for professional and personal success. And that is something that you don't need years of experience, years of failures. This is something that you go today into the mirror and you check yourself. And you're like, am I going with good energy today to the world? Or am I going sloppy? Like, no. Put yourself up, look at yourself in the mirror, and be like, I got this. You got this? You got it? What's your name? Donis. Show me how you got it. Got it. There you go, my man. Good. And that's the key, energy. But remember, first step, be authentic. Now you can see, oh, this guy, 4 million followers across social media, press, cover, this, that, boom, 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 TV shows. I don't show these like Laura was showing all her records. I don't care. You can be like, okay, good for you. And you are right. Good for me. But I'm here to show you this because 5 years ago, I had none of that. So I'm showing you that there is a path forward if this is the direction that you want to go. It requires consistency. It requires hard work. But it requires to get out of your comfortable state. You will always have options in front of you. And the options are something I'm familiar with, something that I'm not. How many of us usually just go for what's comfortable? Nobody? Damn, you guys are strong. I do. Sometimes I choose the comfortable option because it's comfortable. But that's not where you grow. You grow on the other option, the one that is uncomfortable, the one that I'm afraid of. That's where you level up. And that's the key. That's the path for you to grow. Every time that you have options in front of you, choose what's uncomfortable. Choose what scares you. I know Pancho here skydives and do heli jumps and all this different crazy stuff. He talks about fear. And let me tell you, when I go skydive, I'm still afraid. Like, I'm in the plane, I'm like, what the hell am I doing here again? Why? All the answers are clear once I'm in the sky. Once I'm falling down from 14,000 feet, I'm like, this is why. This is why. And I tell you this, doesn't need to be skydiving. It could be something else. But when you do something that you're afraid of, you're building that callus in your mind. So today, make a list of the things you're uncomfortable to do in the path. It's not about like, oh, I'm afraid of spiders, so I'm going to go play with some spiders. No, then you're stupid. Okay? The question here is, what is my path? And here, what options do I have? And choose what you're afraid of. That's how you level up. When I started Super Luxury Group, this is a real estate brokerage, marketing agency. We were just rediscovering the way on how we can sell real estate. The whole idea here is, how do we do things differently? How can we become outliers? How can we have fun with it? How can we mix all passions? Sounds interesting, right? Everybody wants to do something that you're passionate about, that it will make you wealth, that you can make a strong impact in the community. And for me, it was this. How can we sell real estate differently? I didn't sell $140 million homes, but it's about how you position yourself. If you're going to start selling something, if you're going to start a business, why not to aim for the best? When I started in real estate, somebody was telling me, oh, you should start with apartments. It's like, why? If I'm going to put all my resources, and resources could be anything, could be your energy, your time, your money, anything that you have, it's perfect. A lot of people are waiting for, oh, I need more money, I need more time. The perfect day to start is today. All you need today is all you have. Let me tell you that again. All you need today is all you have. That's how you get started. I didn't have money. I didn't have contacts. I didn't have anything. And I said, I'm going to position myself like I sell $100 million home. And I started like that. And what did I do? I started to reach out to people, positioning myself like that, and I started to tap into OPAs, other people audiences. How? I started to bring public figures into the properties so that they will promote the home in exchange of staying there. And then they started to bring their brands that they were working with. That's the luxury lifestyle. Now, this is key for any type of industry, and that's why this event is great, because we're talking about all these different industries. It doesn't need to be real estate, it could be anything. It's how can I tap into those that have an audience that I want to go into? And how can you bring them into your business? That's how I started to build a brand, and that started to acquire all these clients. Instant verification. Are you checking how you're looking online? When somebody Googles you, what do they find? If they don't find anything, you're in trouble, because again, attention, 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 attention. You want to make sure that you're positioning yourself up to the standards of what you're selling. If I'm selling luxury real estate, how can I position myself as a person that lives that lifestyle? Whatever it is that you're doing, make sure that you're everywhere on social media, internet, magazines, whatever it is that you have eyeballs on, that you are up to the standards of what you're selling.
Are you ready to own a piece of heaven? Come fly with me to our new luxury listing located in Isla Morada in the Keys. Currently listed at $40 million, this chateau on the ocean can be yours. Come check it out. Some basketball, a mini golf, or pool. Ready to entertain? Nothing like this patio right here. And you can enjoy watching the game or a movie in this massive TV directly from the pool. Whether you land on a helicopter or a seaplane, you can make this unique opportunity yours.
Now, why do I share this? Because the concept for us, it became to celebritize, to make products famous. How? By bringing famous people that already have that credibility and the status to do collaboration with us, to bring brands that already represent those high standards and be part of this by doing videos that are different than what other people are doing, experiences. Who is taking people on a seaplane to see a home? Nobody. I know it requires time, it requires money. When I started, I was just taking people on a run at 6 a.m. because he's somebody that I know that connects with me at that lifestyle level, that loves to run. So why to meet at 2 p.m. to see a home when we could meet at 6 a.m., go for a run, see the sunrise, and then arrive at the home having breakfast ready? You're selling a lifestyle. You're not selling just a product. Now, this same home, we started to activate it. We started to do magic. And that's how you create a positive impact. This was a wellness retreat. It's how can you reimagine your business? That same home that I was showing you, this is me flying a helicopter and then skydiving out of it on it. We did a luxury real estate and wellness summit. Because here's the key. It's about being an outlier. You don't want to be the same. You have something in you, that fire in you that is telling you that you can be better than yourself. You can be different. You can be unique. And this is what I'm doing right there. This was a dream of mine. But again, everything happens twice. First in your mind and then in reality. I dreamt about, I want to have a multi-million-dollar listing. I want to fly a helicopter there, skydive into the home, have an amazing event where we'll be having all the best speakers in real estate, combine wellness, because I'm an athlete, and have the most incredible community built around that. And there you go. It happens if you put the work consistently. So again, what is it that you do? Whatever industry you're on, whatever company you're working on or you're having, it's how can you build a community? What we're doing here is about having a community. Tap into everybody in the room and see how you can collaborate. Collaboration is the name of the game. And again, have a good time. Mix your passions. What do you love? What film? Film. What else? Martial arts. Okay, there you go. Start shooting with people that do martial arts. Do some content in some nice properties. You can connect with me. We can do something different. Is how can you combine your passions? That's what makes you an outlier. That's what makes you life worth doing. Again, this is something that is your vehicle. Your vehicle to live your dream lifestyle. A lot of us obsess over business. Work, 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 work. Work, 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 work. And what else? Work, 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 work. And we forget about everything else. Your work is the vehicle to live your dream lifestyle. Make it so. And again, have unique stories to tell. These are Margaret and Susie. These are some of my best friends. They're in Tanzania. Actually, Kenya, in the Giraffe Manor. If you have not been, write it down. And this is not a picture that brings only a smile on my face, but it's something that opens a conversation with people. Because you want to have those unique stories to tell, not just the regular same old same. What did you do today? Oh, just work. Kids. Work. I did a little bit of workout. Dinner. Boring. Boring. Wake up. Do more with your life. Be an interesting person that people want to associate with. You don't want to be Pancho. You don't want to be Laura because they are too cool to. No, it doesn't matter. You are you. Build your own path. But whatever it is that you're passionate about, perfection it. Do something with it. You love martial arts? Cool. Start showing it to the world. Do something about it. We talked about it, right? We talked about how business is just business. It's just the vehicle for you to live your dream lifestyle. How many of you have heard of the dream of the wheel of life? Just you? Well, look, this is what changed my life. This right here is what changed my life. I want you to take a picture to this. I want you to take a picture, and then later on, I want you to rate it. What's the ranking here? From 0 to 10, 0 being nothing, 10 being amazing. Where would you position yourself in each of these areas? And then you realize maybe you're putting too much effort in just one area, maybe just in a few of them. Maybe you have not done anything in the spiritual level. Financially, maybe you're broke. Are you doing something with your family? Or you are so consumed by your work that you forgot about it? What about your health? These is the questions that you want to ask yourself. And this is a very clear visual on where you stand in life. It's about having an extraordinary, balanced life. It's not just being average. It's about being extraordinary in everything. And I do believe that we can accomplish everything that we want in life as long as we set up the right routines and habits. The compound effect. If today you start doing something towards a better tomorrow and you stay consistent at it every single day, the same way that when we invest, we see that compound effect, it applies to life. So all your habits and routines is the same concept. How many of you have heard of the word misogi? Hey, another one. That's good. You guys are learning something new. Misogi is a term that definitely resonated so much with my mind because I was exploring different cultures. And this is a Japanese word that talks about a challenge that pushes you so much to the limit that you're so afraid of doing, but that you know it's going to have a huge impact in your life. There is something extraordinary about learning from different cultures that opens your mind. And this is one of those things that really, really resonated with me. And it made my life change 360. I started to look into those misogis every year. And I'm going to share some of them with you. This right here that you're seeing, that was my first Ironman that I did, which eventually led to the Ironman World Championship. How many of you know what an Ironman is? A lot of you, right? Well, for those of you that don't know, is 2.3 mile swim, 130 mile bike ride, and then a marathon. So what started being like something outrageous eventually became something that I was good at it. Why? Because I was consistent at it, the compound effect. Which then, once I did the Ironman World Championship, I was like, oh, what's next? Well, Ultraman, double the distance of an Ironman. Winning some of these races, double Ironman. I'm actually doing the World Championship later this year. This right here, 100-mile races. 100-mile races running. First race I did, I won the race, I broke the course record. And this is something that 2 years before, I heard somebody speaking about doing a 100-mile race in a conference. And I was like, what? People do this? And again, super successful people in that conference. And what really resonated the most was that there was one guy speaking that did 100 miles in 24 hours. I was like, how is this possible? And guess what? I stayed consistent at doing my thing, and I became one. Now, then I started to climb mountains. I started to climb with Kilimanjaro, tallest mountain in Africa. Then I started to do Aconcagua, tallest one in South America. Then I did Mount Elbrus, the tallest one in Russia. I started to climb all the tallest mountains in each continent. Why? Because I love heights, the adventure, the inspedition. It's not the expedition, it's the inspedition, how you get to know yourself through that process. Then later on, I went to do the Great Wall Race, 7 marathons in 7 continents in 7 days. Started in Antarctica, going to Africa, heading to Australia, Asia, Europe, South America, and finishing in North America, here in Miami. Now, this is a guy that a few years ago didn't even run more than 6 miles. And the latest one, Race Across America. How many of you have heard of this race? It's the world's toughest bicycle race. 3,000 miles, coast to coast, from Oceanside, California, all the way to Atlantic City, New Jersey. You have 12 days to complete it, and you're gonna have over 175,000 feet of elevation. That's like 6 times Everest. Let me tell you, I hate cycling. I hate running. So why am I doing this? It's my misogi. It's that thing that I'm afraid of doing. When I signed up for this race, let me tell you, this right here happened just a couple months ago. I started training in February. Not much of a preparation for a race like this. When I said that I was going to do this race, people laughed at me. I was not a cyclist. I hate cycling. I never even changed a tire in my life. So when I hired a coach to help me with this, I remember I called him mid-February and I said, hey coach, I just got a flat tire. What do I do? It's like, change it. It's like, yeah, I don't know how. I was like, Google it. What do you mean? And then he kind of stops. It's like, wait, repeat that again? You have not changed a flat tire and you want to do the world's toughest bicycle race? Are you serious? It's like, yeah. This was a crash course on how to become a cyclist. And I'll tell you the story because this requires 10 hours a day of pure training. It completely made my life change. I was no longer focusing so much on everything else I had going on, but on putting all the effort and the energy into this race and to learn the craft on how to become a better cyclist, to be able to do this. 10 hours a day on a bike. Sometimes 12, sometimes 13, 14, 15 hours a day on a bike. How many of you ride a bike sometimes? It gets uncomfortable after a little bit, right? Imagine 10 hours here in Miami. The reason I'm sharing this story is because there was a moment, a month before the race, where I completely collapsed. I was supposed to do a 10-hour bike ride session, and I was 5 hours in, and I started to curse out loud. There were cars passing me, I was fading, it was hot, it was in May, and cars, get out of the road, asshole, and I'm like, oh my God, here we go, crazy people in Miami, and I started to think out loud, why the hell am I doing this? A month before the race, I had no sponsors, I had no team, I had no equipment, and I was dying after 5 hours. And I was supposed to be riding for 12 days straight, no sleep. How am I gonna do this? So everything was hurting, and I started to scream, to complain, to get so negative. I'm like, Álvaro, this is not you. What are you doing? I say, stupid race. Why am I even signing for this? Why? Why? The why. I had no why. I had no why. And I remember after 5 hours, I stopped. And I called my dad. My dad, somebody that I've had a great relationship with throughout my entire childhood. I was a tennis player growing up. And we've always had this relationship. So I called him to ask for advice. And what my dad told me took me by surprise. Before I even asked him anything, I asked him, how are you doing? It's like, I'm not doing well, son. I'm actually not doing well. I just got diagnosed with cancer. Advanced stage 4 cancer for prostate. And I was shocked. I was shocked. So I didn't know what to say. So I asked him, what's next? Like, well, I need to go right away into surgery. I need to do chemo. I need to do like some new procedures because I'm already having some heart issues. I'm like, when is this taking place? It's during the race across America. So I told him, I said, okay, well, screw this race. I'm going there with you. He's in Spain. And I said, that's all I needed to hear. I'm going to be there with you. And you know what he told me? He said, son, you're not quitting this race. You finish what you start. Because you give me more strength by doing this race than by being here with me. When he was a kid, he wanted to be a professional cyclist. And to see his son competing at the world's toughest bicycle race was giving him so much power, so much strength, than me being there with him. So we made this agreement. And the agreement was, if I don't quit on this race, he won't quit on his life. Sometimes we might not have a why, but the why will find us. Because your actions matter. What you do in life matters. Might be for somebody close in your family, might be for somebody that is watching. You don't know that. But let me tell you, what you do matter. Your actions matter. So guess what? I finished that 5 hours bike ride session. Then the next day I did 10. Again. I was no longer pedaling without purpose. Every single stroke had a meaning. I went on that night and I started dialing in for every single person in my life that I knew had to be part of this team. People that had the most incredible qualities that I wanted to go with. I started to dial in all the brands to get sponsorships. I started to get equipment. But at this time, I was relentless. Relentless to get this done. Because I knew there was one person on the other side watching this. And that person was my dad. So when the race started, there was no more quitting as an option. I was going to finish that race. And on the second day, I was already collapsing. 23 hours per day on the bike. 1 hour of sleep. I still don't feel my fingers and my toes from the damage that I had on my nerves. We're not going to talk about this either, but not fun at all. And I'll tell you this because in the middle of the race, when days pass by, you start getting depleted. You start questioning what you're doing. You start feeling some sort of depression. I started to hallucinate. I was seeing people flying. Why? Because I was not sleeping 23 hours every single day. But you know what kept me alive? That purpose, that agreement, those words that we had, my dad and I. If I didn't quit, he wouldn't quit with his life. So that's what kept me going, because our actions matter. And no matter what was going on, no matter the 12 crashes I had, no matter how many bikes broke, no matter how many things happened, or the 30 pounds that I lost, I kept going. And I finished that race in 11 days and 23 hours, just 1 hour before the cutoff time. Why? Because when you have a purpose that is stronger than yourself, you find a way to make it happen. When you take quitting out of the equation, you find a way to make it happen. So this is a reminder that your actions matter. Who is out there looking? You might not know, but there might be somebody there that whatever you're doing every day is making them go through what they're going through. That's what we're here for, to make that strong impact. I'm not doing this race, like Laura said, for ego. So people can be like, oh, good for you. No, that was the wrong approach. So I'm going to leave you with this. Your bigger mission, your why. I'm going to share with you a story where everything happened for me. The beginning of the journey. Something that really clicked and changed the way that I was approaching life. How many of you know somebody here that is suffering with depression? Half of you. I personally have lost friends and family members that have faced these mental health issues, depression, anxiety, and took their life away. People that seem to have it all, and all of a sudden, out. When that happened, I couldn't stay still. I couldn't be approaching life the same way. I couldn't walk into the office or I couldn't go for a run without doing something about it. When one of my friends took his life because he was facing something that nobody could see. So I started a campaign called The Weight of Depression. My misogi for that year was this race right here. The Marathon des Sables. How many of you have heard of this race? Some of you. This is the world's toughest foot race. 6 marathons in 6 days across the Sahara Desert. And you gotta carry all your food and supplies with you. I was not a runner. I never even ran a marathon when I signed up for this race. But that was my misogi. That was something that I was completely afraid of doing. And when you sign up for something like this, you want to have a strong why. And my why was that campaign. So what I did for this race is, on top of the food and supplies that you gotta carry with you, I carry a weight on my back that said the weight of depression. And we launched a campaign months prior to the race where people will share their story. They will share all the struggles that they were going through that nobody could see. And I was carrying all those names, all those struggles in my back, so that at the end of the race, I will bury that weight in the sand and leave those struggles behind. Hundreds and hundreds of people started to share their struggles, started to share what they were going through, how they were going through this depression that they were so afraid of speaking on because of what other people would say. And damn, let me tell you, every day that I was listening or reading all these messages, it was crazy. But it was my purpose to carry all that, to be the voice for all these people. When I arrived to the Sahara Desert in Morocco, I started to see all these incredible world-class athletes, some of them that I even followed on social media. And guess what? I started to compare myself. I'm like, wow, all these guys are here. Who am I to be doing this race? I haven't even run a marathon. What the hell am I doing here? These guys are Olympians. These guys are people that have done all these records. But let me remind you this. Comparison is the thief of joy. I had an opportunity to be there. May as well enjoy the process. Be present and don't compare myself to anybody but myself. And this is a reminder for everybody here. If you're going to compare to somebody, be that somebody, be yourself. So when that race started, that was a reality check. You know what Mike Tyson said, right? Everybody feels ready until they punch them in the face. Well, that's how I felt. Nobody punched me in the face, but definitely I got punched by a sandstorm. That first day we had a sandstorm. I was carrying so much weight that I started already bleeding on my shoulders, bleeding on my back. My feet were already destroyed. And I was thinking to myself, what am I even doing here? What am I even doing here? I just did a marathon. I have 5 to go. Second marathon. I'm going halfway through. And I see the same guy that I was following on social media. He's laying on the ground. And guess what? He's calling the helicopter. He has his satellite phone and he's dialing to get the helicopter to come pick him up because he's dropping out of the race. Again, the voices started to go in my head. If this guy who is a professional is quitting, who the hell am I to even continue going with this? So that was the moment that I said, that's it for me. I took the backpack out of my shoulders. I dropped it on the ground. And I was grabbing the satellite phone to call the helicopter. And guess what happened? As I was doing that, I saw the blood coming down my shoulder. I was bleeding so much. There was no way in miracle that I could continue. I was peeing blood. I had kidney failure. My feet felt like I had some sort of sponge under me because I felt that all the skin was coming out. That was it for me. And as I was reaching for the satellite phone, I saw it right there. The weight of depression, the weight that I was carrying. And all those names started to come back up. Kevin, Maria Elisa, Fernando, Pedro, all the people that have shared the story started to come through my head. And I said at that moment, I'm not doing this race anymore for me. I'm doing it for all these people. So guess what? I grabbed that backpack on, I put it back on my shoulders, and I kept going. I finished that second marathon, and when I arrived into a medical tent, the 2 nurses that were there to check on me, they said, you cannot continue. You cannot continue. And I said, oh, I am continuing. And then they pointed out and they said, if you continue, you're going to finish like that. And there were 2 people covered in a plastic bag. This is a very extreme case, but this is something that happens to us every single day. The external voices. They're, oh, don't do it. It's too risky. It's too difficult. Oh, you're going to get hurt. External voices. But when you have a strong purpose, you become determined. You become relentless to make it happen. So I told them, I said, I appreciate the advice, but I'm no longer doing this race for me. I'm doing it for all these hundreds of people that are counting on me. I put my backpack on and I kept going. I couldn't walk at that moment. And I'll show you this. I need to do this because otherwise I might get in trouble. Warning. If you're sensitive, close your eyes. These right here were my feet on the second day and the third day. This is the weight that I was carrying. Sandstorms every time. With a compass at night, trying to figure out how to find a way to the end. I'm sharing this because there is something in here that was telling me there is no human in the world that with this pain could continue. I was broken. I was completely broken. I went into the ground and I couldn't stand up. And it was those names, those messages that lift me up. And when we have big dreams in life, when we have big goals, we sometimes get defeated because it looks so far out. For me at this moment, it felt so far out to still have to do 4 more marathons under those conditions. So in those moments, what we do is we reverse engineer it. We look at the finish line and then we start breaking it down into small tangible pieces. For me, it was no longer about having to do 4 marathons. It's about, can I do one more step? Can I do one more step? Can I do one more and one more and one more, 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 and one more. And guess what happens? You start building momentum. That's the momentum that gives you the energy to carry on. My body was breaking down with every single step, but my mind was getting stronger. The mind was evolving. Every single step I was moving forward. And it was on the last day that I was no longer thinking about finishing the race. I believed that I could win the race. I believed that I could cross that finish line among the first. And guess what happened on the last day? Thank you. And as I promised, the weight, that was the weight, buried in the sand after the race. So my question here for you, what's your why? And it's not asking your question only one time. It's about you going in front of the mirror, closing your eyes, whatever it is that you feel comfortable with, and asking the uncomfortable question. Why? Why am I waking up this morning to do this? Why? And ask yourself again and again and again until you start getting goosebumps. When you start getting goosebumps, then you're in the right direction. You might not get the answer right away. You gotta keep on asking yourself that question until you find out why. Because let me tell you, once you find out why, you'll become unstoppable. Because your actions matter. People are watching. My dad was watching on the other race. Hundreds of people were watching on this race. Not because they were entertained, but because there was a meaning behind it. Your actions matter. What you're doing matters. Might matter to one person or to 100 or to 1,000,000 people, but it matters. And if there is nobody that you think that it matters for yourself. And how you show up in life every day is how you show up for everyone else. So again, who here is ready to level up? Raise your hand. I want you to look around. No, keep the hand up. Don't be too quick to drop it. In fact, just so that everybody can see it, stand up. Those that are raising your hand, stand up. All these people that you see standing up, these are people that came here today because there was a fire inside, because they felt that there is something in them that they can do better, that they can do better for themselves and for those that they love. So when you arrive home tonight, ask yourself why. Right now, before you even leave, when you're going for lunch, connect with everybody here, because this is the community that we're putting together so that people can level up. You're not alone in this journey. All these people are here for the same reason, to level up. So again, I'm gonna ask you one more question. Who's ready to level up? Again, who's ready to level up? Again, who's ready to level up? All right, thank you guys.